Hi everyone, this is Heather Lottinen from the Flourish.Academy. I am joined by my good friend and co-host Mara Chick.
Howdy, how are ya?
What are we doing today?
Okay, we are going to finish our discussion on Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. So this is how I say this title of this book.
Okay.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Is that how you hear it?
That's how I hear it in my head.
That's fantastic.
So, this book is amazing. So Heather's going to pick up right in chapter 10.
Chapter 10, Choosing Love and Trust, on page 160. She's giving some examples here, but I love when she says, most of us operate on a hidden barter system. Few genuinely ever give anything away without expecting something in return. Money, appreciation, love, or whatever. You might be saying, what's wrong with getting back? And my answer is nothing. However, if all you are giving is about getting, think how fearful you will become. So let me just share this quick story. She's talking about someone she's working with named Lottie. And she's in a classroom and she says she wants them to go home and say thank you to their spouses. And there was this sense of discomfort in the room. And finally, Lottie, who'd been married for 25 years, piped up with, "Why should I say thank you to my husband? He should be glad I'm there." To which she replied, "Lottie, why are you there?" Her response was rather evasive, something to the effect that he'd be a mess without me, and besides, it would be too much trouble to leave. And then I repeated my question. After much prodding from me and the rest of the class, Lottie was finally able to acknowledge that her husband gave her a number of advantages: companionship, financial security, and the feeling that she was not alone. So I said, fine, go home and thank him for that. And the class was having a hard time with this, just saying thank you to people. You're very good at this, by the way. You do it all the time. Thank you for even small things. But you know that for a lot of people, that's really hard to do. I think it's a pride, ego thing. They don't want to say thank you because they're admitting that you're doing something for them or there's something kind of weird going on there. But it's because we're all operating on this hidden barter system, which is, if I do this for you, then you will do this for me. And you're not even aware that it's happening. This is especially problematic in marriages. That there's this hidden contract in your marriage about what you should be doing or what he should be doing or who's responsible for what. And it's never vocalized or talked about, which leads to marital discontent.
Yeah, and I think we come from a place of like, well, I did this for him, so he should do something for me. And I got him this gift, so he should give me this gift. I spent this much money on him for Christmas, so he should double what he spends on me. Like, we have these unbelievable expectations of what, and I never give to get something back. I give because it comes from my heart. Anytime I give someone a gift or I help someone out, it's not because I'm like, oh, well, they'll help me when I need it. It's because I really feel genuine about helping people, and that's important. So if you're giving or giving a compliment or giving a gift to someone or saying thank you or whatever it is, even to your spouse or your friends, and if you're doing it to get something back from that, yeah. You're going to be disappointed.
You know, but I think that you are actually in the minority here, that you're very unique. As long as I've known you, you've always been very generous, both in your time, your words, your praise, everything. But I think that makes you different. I don't think it's common. I think most people give expecting something in return, even if they don't realize it. I think a lot of people will try to say, oh no, I give, without expecting anything in return. But you're actually a rare one that lives it out.
I'm rare.
Rare.
I'm a rare breed,
Precious
baby.
Gem.
Precious gem. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. On page 68.
168.
Sorry.
That's
168. Right. I forgot a whole 100 pages. Susan starts talking about the ways you can give things to others. And she talks about give away thanks, which, Heather and I do that a lot. We've talked about that plenty of times on the podcast. She also talks about give away information. And she says this on page 168, so much of what we learn in life comes to us with great difficulty. And for some reason, we have a tendency to want to see others struggle as much as we did. Oh, the was me, not Susan. Yeah. Turn this around and begin giving others as much help as you can possibly give them. The giving has to be done with no expectations of return. When you become a support to others, you become bigger than you are. Moreover, when people use what they have learned from you, your effect in this world is greatly magnified. Okay, let's talk about this for a second.
I love this.
Because you are very good at giving away information.
Thank you.
Okay, I And I think everyone knows that this that's in the Flourish Academy community. You do free videos all the time. You do Facebook Live videos answering their questions. Like, you're not like, oh, nope, I'm not going to answer that question. That's proprietary information. Or you need to pay me for that. Like, you give away so much information.
Thank you.
And I really feel like you're dedicated to doing that for people, because why should we struggle? And I think a lot of people in the photography community really have a problem with this. Like, oh, look at her. She had it so easy. I had to struggle. I worked so hard for 5 years to build my business up. I'm not going to tell her anything. And you don't have that.
No, because that's 100% ego. And I have no tolerance for it, because it's not a trade secret. And what we're doing, by the way, is not rocket science, nor are we curing cancer. It is photography. So I've always been very generous with my information because it helps people. And actually, I dedicate about 80% of my time every week to producing free content. Some would argue that's probably even a little high, meaning I might ought to dial that back. Yeah, a little bit. But I enjoy doing that because I love to see people thrive in the community. And I've been that way from the very beginning. In fact, I trained my direct competition right out of the gate.
Yeah.
They would come to me and we would have sessions and I would train them, and several of them absolutely leapfrogged over me. And I trained them and I was happy because when they win, I win. I felt, number one, I have an abundance mindset. There's enough for everyone. And if they win, I win. So I just continue to do that. By the way, when I first started my business 15 years ago, I caught some flack for this from the older photographic community who said to me, if you continue to give this all away, none of us are going to have work. And they kind of cornered me a little bit. And I mean, like, physically, we all went out one evening and they said, you have to stop doing that. You're sharing too many things. And but this is before Facebook or social media.
Right.
This was just me, like, helping people who would ask. And I did start private mentoring pretty early in my career because it was requested. And they said, why would you share that with people? And I honestly did not understand what their issue was with that. And they didn't understand why I would continue to share. So we agreed to disagree and we just kind of went on our separate ways. But I was not well liked early on for sharing
How
all
dare
that.
you give away information,
all
Heather?
of that information. So that has always been my thing. Like, if I know something or I've learned something, I feel that it's my duty to teach others. You know, that's what we're doing here with the podcast. We learn something, we get excited about it, and we're like, man, people need this.
We are giving it away for free too. You're just like, talk about 80%. This whole thing's for 100% free podcast with all of this, like, mentoring and personal coaching and such. Like,
it's a
that's
lot.
how I describe when people ask what's the podcast about. And I said, well, we'll read books and discuss things. And I said, it's really like coaching and mentoring, like, in a podcast. So
there you go.
Why aren't you listening along?
Yep.
So, Heather, you want to take us to giving away praise.
Okay, so give away praise. For many of us, the people we find most difficult to praise are the ones closest to us. Our mates, our children, our parents, and sometimes our friends. A lot of the difficulty comes from anger and resentment. Yet in some strange way, when we praise the people in our lives, we release the negativity and open the door for their being loving toward us. Too many relationships focus on the negative and have no difficulty reminding significant others of what they are doing wrong. It is no wonder so few relationships are going well. We want our loved ones to be affirming and supportive. It is important to surround ourselves with giving, loving, and nurturing people. This implies the flip side of the coin. You must become what you want to attract. Be the kind of person you would want to surround yourself with.
Okay. This means being above everybody else that you're with. If you are with people that are complaining and Debbie Downers, like, you need to be the one that's like, okay, let's stop this conversation and turn it around. Because if you just sit there in silence, be like, I'm not going to participate, that's not good enough.
No, it's not.
Because you want to be someone who's elevated to the next level. So you have to step up and say, okay, stop, let's flip this conversation. What are we going to talk about now? Okay. And that's your job, because you want to be what you want to attract. And that's what you want. You want someone who's positive and wants to look at the bright side of things, because it's only going to help push you further. So don't.
Yeah. And being silent is implied consent.
Yeah.
So if you don't say anything, what you're saying is, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to stand up and say something different. And also remember to compliment and give away praise to people that live in your home. we tend to forget to do that. So every day I want to praise Craig for something, especially in front of the children. I want to tell them they're doing something good. Every single day I look for ways to say something kind to the people that I love. I mean, doesn't that seem like, no kidding, of course you want to do that, but people don't do it.
Do you know the funniest thing is I thank Tony like 5 times a week. Thanks for working. I mean, like, thank you for working and going to a job every day that carries our health benefits. Like, you do a lot for our family, me and him and the cat. But, like, he does a lot for us, and I appreciate that about him, and I let him know. I think we know this. We've talked about this, and I let people know how I feel about them. So I tell him every day I love him, and I'm appreciative of him, and I'm like, you look good today.
Thank you for looking good today.
Thank you for looking good today. Thanks for getting that haircut. Finally, now let's pluck some eyebrows. Okay.
All right, moving on. The next one is give away time. Time is something there never seems to be enough of. Hence, it is one of our most valuable commodities. It is also one of our most precious gifts. How do you give away your time? You listen to a friend's problem, you write a note of thanks, you get involved in something bigger than yourself and become a participating member, you volunteer, you read a book to a child. All of these take you out of yourself and help you operate from a different part of your being, the part that is loving, nurturing, and abundant.
Yes, yes, and yes.
I love to give away my time.
You do give away your time. You're really good at giving things away.
Thank you.
Time is something I struggle with right now just because I'm running 2 businesses and trying to do all this crap for you. But
I love you said that so smoothly. Like all of this crap I'm doing for you.
I mean, I meant that as a joke. It's not crap. Yeah. I love what I'm doing here. This is really, really awesome.
But you're protective of your time.
Yeah, and I know. And you know, when you approached me about this podcast, you're like, now I know you have a lot going on. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like thinking, what is she going to put on me right now? And she was like, but I know that you like your time, you've managed your time really well. So I know you can do this. And I'm like, there she is trying to rope me in, just pulling me a little closer, lassoing me in.
Setting the expectation and also saying, but I know you can do it.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a heart for serving women. Yeah. I know you do. And you love this. I don't know anyone that loves it as much as I do.
What's the point of reading these books if we're
not teaching someone?
So I just, giving away time so that and I know you guys, our listeners, don't even think that we're giving you our time, but we are. This takes so much time. It takes a ton of time to put this all together and for you to just sit there and listen and there's a lot involved behind the scenes, but Heather and I like to give that time to people. And I know even for my photo shoots, my boudoir sessions, I only do one a day because I want to dedicate my time to that person. That is their time with me. And I will give you my entire day if you need it. I will sit there on the couch and talk to you for 2 hours. If that's what you need, that's what you're going to get from me. I mean, after the photo shoot.
Yeah.
But so it's like, I will give you my time. And that's why I don't like to do 2 photo shoots a day. Cause that's not what I'm trying to do.
Well, you would be rushed and then you would be worried and you'd be looking at your watch.
Hurry up. Let's go. Okay. Next pose. I just like to give that time away.
So if you have nothing else on your schedule that day, you know that you can be relaxed and you can give them the attention. And listen, people are craving that because no one does it. If you just give people attention and time and listen to them, they will love you forever because it's just not something people are doing. They're so, they hoard their time. But I always say I own time. So I have all the time that I need. I own time. I can do anything I want.
Do you know how many times I've heard that you own time?
Well, I do, and I get it all done. So maybe there's power in the tongue, Mara.
Okay, excuse me? Excuse me. I am
So if you say, you don't say this. I'm not saying you say this. But if a person says...
Here we go. She's coaching me. I should have given...
If a person says, I don't have time, you're not going to have time.
Exactly.
So I just say I own time even when there are days when I feel...
There are not enough hours.
Correct. So I'm not immune to it, but I just try to turn it around in my mind. So I'm saying, okay, I own it. I can get everything done that I need to get done. Because the truth is, you get done exactly what you want to get done.
Exactly. And this is why I make lists every night of what I'm going to get done the next day because...
You're very productive.
Yeah, I am. Don't you know it, baby?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Susan also talks about giving away money and giving away love. And from the giving away love section, I'm going to pick up on page 173. Whether you presently believe it or not, your life is already abundant. You simply haven't noticed it. Before you can accept abundance in your life, you have to notice it. And she continues on 174. Look for blessings and you will notice them all over the place. They will envelop you. There is so much you are not seeing that is already there. There is no need to feel scarcity when there is such abundance. Like, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And, this goes back to you keep a gratitude journal. I do gratitude every day. I do at least 3 things. Everything is abundant. It's all around you. It's happening for you, not to you. And let me ask you this. You generally, collectively, the audience, have you ever been without food or water? Have you ever not had clothing on your back? Okay, chances are, if you're listening to this, you are in an area where you have access to resources, which means you have everything that you need. So really, is there lack? Only in your mind, only if you perceive it that way. So if you are thankful for all the abundance that you have, oh, I have clothes on today. Oh, I'm able to eat this evening. Okay, there have been times in my life where budget-wise, maybe we can't go out to eat as much as we want. We don't eat out that much anyway, but okay, big deal. You can't go out and get something to eat, but you have food in your refrigerator. You're able to eat. You have shelter. You have food, shelter, and clothing. I'm going to go ahead.
That's all you need.
Yeah, you're going to need to stop complaining.
And when we talk about our businesses and such, guess what? There's abundance abound. There are clients everywhere. And I always say this to people I'm mentoring, Heather's clients are not meant for me. My clients are meant for me, and my clients are going to find me because of who I am and what I do and the message I put out there. Your clients are going to find you based on your message and who you are. So there's no scarcity. There's abundance everywhere. There's people all over the place that want you and your business, and you just have to find those
Pay attention.
people.
Keep your eyes open.
Because it's out there. There is so much for us to have, and we just feel like we're lacking something, or why does she get all the clients and I don't get any clients? Well, you aren't looking in the right spots maybe for your abundance.
Well, you're right. And I read in a book recently that if you are saying to yourself, there's not enough clients, whatever your industry, there's not enough clients, there's not enough clients, there's not enough clients, your ideal client could literally be right in front of your face and your brain won't allow you to see it because you have told your brain repeatedly that there aren't enough clients. So you will get exactly what you tell your brain. So if you tell your brain, oh, there are clients everywhere, guess what? You'll start getting more clients, but it'll feel like magic. It's really just a mindset
thing. Yes. Okay, so that is everything we had to discuss with this book. What's your strategy? Read the book. Read it.
We don't get that adamant about many of these books.
This one is one that you have to pick up and read. And when you do so, use our Amazon link so we get a couple pennies.
It helps. Yeah. Mar, may I ask you something?
No.
What is your...
I said no.
Yeah, it's not going to stop me. What would you say is your biggest takeaway from this book, or a part that really resonated with
me?
Yeah.
I think there's a couple things, right? One is where she was talking about they don't want you to grow. People, and the people in my life are just trying to keep me safe. And, I remember when I was making decisions about my business and people were like, I'm not sure you want to do that. I knew what was right for me. And my fear held me back from standing strong in who I was. So when she was talking about a lot of that stuff, I was like, okay, I get it. And I let their fear become my fear because I had felt pretty good about myself. I had evaluated, what I wanted to do, and I knew it was the right thing for me, but then their fear creeped into my head. And that's the other thing. They don't know they're doing it. They're doing it out of love. So for me, that was a huge, it clicks in there.
Yeah.
And the other thing is obviously, you're taking action. Okay, just go do something, anything it is towards your fears. So those are the 2 things that are really, what about you?
I would agree with you. So one thing that when I'm thinking about a book, here's how I gauge what resonated with me. What am I telling other people about the book, or what am I using from that book? So I tell people all the time, there's no such thing as a right or wrong decision, just a different choice. But you cannot not make a decision because then you don't move. So if you want to move forward in any area of your life, you need to make a decision. And you need to be okay with, okay, maybe I'll make a great choice. Maybe I'll make a not so great choice, but I have to do something to move forward because it creates momentum. And you have to realize that if you make a choice that is not so awesome, you can correct your course because there are very few irreversible decisions. So I tell people to ask themselves, is this decision reversible? If they're having a hard time, is it reversible? If the answer is yes, then you have nothing to lose. Just move forward. And there are very few irreversible decisions. So therefore, now listen, some are heavier than others for sure, but you just have to do something to move forward. So I'm always telling people, no such thing as a wrong decision, just a different choice. And the other thing that I use all the time is you have to accept 100% responsibility for where you're at in your life. You created it based on a set of decisions, not right or wrong, just maybe not so great. Where you're at in your life, you need to accept 100% responsibility for it, and you need to sculpt your own life. This is not on your boss or your spouse or your friends or your family. You need to create it. You are responsible. Make it happen. Stop complaining. Just move forward. So I love those concepts.
Awesome. So again, like I said, read the book. Okay, sorry.
I wouldn't mess with her.
Don't mess with me, okay? So Heather, as we wrap up, another wonderful book. Can you tell everyone how to support this awesome, wonderful, amazing podcast?
Thank you, for sure. If you would like to pick up this book or any of the books we discuss, then please use our Amazon affiliate link. It helps to offset the cost of the podcast, of which there are some.
And remember, I said pennies. Literally, we get like 2 pennies per book.
Yeah, so it would help. Make sure you leave a review, you like, you share, you subscribe. Please, sharing with your friends is huge because it's social proof. So if you share it, that really helps. If you prefer to watch us on video, because sometimes we make faces at one another, and you can go...
What?
You can go to Flourish.Academy.tv, and that will redirect you to the YouTube channel also.
Excuse me, what's wrong with my face?
It sometimes looks funny.
Well, you look funny.
You make funny faces. I've been sharing... No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
I have been sharing more information about this on the Flourish Academy Instagram. So if you go to Instagram.com/Flourish Academy and check out our stories, we're doing more behind the scenes and we're sharing more from the podcast. So you can see some things there. Definitely check that out. You can see Mara and I kind of, what would you call, banter. I was going to say bicker, but...
I'll bicker with you.
I know you would.
No, I'm just kidding. I love Heather very much. Let me preface that by saying...
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do. And this is our banter.
Yeah,
this is
fun.
how we kind of have fun with each other. So never take us too...
Seriously.
Well, don't take me too seriously.
Well, you know what?
I lead with sarcasm sometimes. That's my sense of humor.
And in the book, she said... Lighten up.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to lighten up. Like, relax. Don't take us too seriously. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We're just having fun.
Put on some leotards and show your yellow underwear to everybody.
That's solid advice.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time on the Flourish Academy podcast.